Hey, Russ here. Welcome back to the shop. Yeah, I'm back here in front of my table saw again. I wanted to go over my last video and explain the title, the buck stop. As I told you in the other one, there was a guy named Buck McDaniel. He's a subscriber of mine, and he's been watching all my videos. And he makes comments, and he's a very likable guy, very knowledgeable, and he has some good ideas himself. He's the one that came up with this idea just out of his head to kind of help me do a stop on a block. And it was actually kind of an amazing little thing. So I'm going to just, first off, that's where I call this the buck stop. Buck McDaniel was the one that thought of it. But it actually works pretty well. Check this out. If you take a look at these two, they both have heels. They look like they're the same push stick. And when you use a push stick like this and you have a long piece of wood in here, you have to set this down off to the side and use your two hands to feed this through, the board through. And then when you get up to this point where you finally got the end up here, then you reach down and grab this and finish the cut. Well, two things about this that are this improves that. And the two ways that it improves it, that cutting action, is when you're cutting, this is where all the action is actually going on, is right here at that blade. So if you have a mishap here, that's when you get reactions and things go astray. When you're back here holding it, that board can be misguided pretty easily because of just the physics of it, how far away your hand is doing the guiding. When you're guiding up close, it's going to help control it better. Because the two things you're trying to do as you're going through that cut is keep it on the table and keep it against the fence. Right here. This is the point that you want it to be against the fence at all times, so that there's no resistance when that blade does its cutting. This actually helps you with that much better than the old-fashioned two-hand technique that I've always used. And the reason is that now you can take this stick right here and you set it on top of there. It's making contact here and over here. So my span of contact is here for downward pressure on the board. With that much sandpaper, it helps me to kind of gently push to the right against the fence at the same time that I'm pushing down and forward. This hand acts as a featherboard as before, and it's still well away, but my hold down and my guiding is right up here by the blade instead of way back here. This makes a big difference in controlling that board as you go through. Then you can just move along, move back, and you have control as you cut this through there. And you're managing the control right here where you need to be in control to keep it against the fence and keep it down to the table. Then when you reach the end of the board, this one will actually drop down from this position to there. Now I can take this hand away and finish the cut by gently pushing and guiding it against the fence and down and forward all at the same time safely. My hand stays on the board in the same position the whole way through that whole process. This actually improves cutting long boards using a push stick because it works both as a hold down right at the point of action and gives you a wide span, wider than you can hold with your hand for the amount of pressure going down. So this is actually a good way of doing it. You can make this any size you want, and the only difference you want to make is to put a buck stop on it. So instead of going straight across with a heel, after you make your straight across, no heel on it, then right at the end, cut in a 1/4 inch, 5/16 of an inch, come up here to some point and cut it out, and then put sandpaper on this. That way you get full contact of friction either here and here or from here to here, and you'll have good contact with that board at all times. This actually is a very good idea that Buck had, and so deservedly it should be called the buck stop. So, and you can add it to any one of your existing push sticks. This one right here, all I have to do is take the heel off and then cut down in here somewhere and come back up at an angle. So you cut down here and then come back up at an angle to about here, and you have installed your buck stop on here. Put sandpaper on that beveled area, and this now has a built-in buck stop instead of having a heel. So now I can use it on a flat surface like this rather than having it set out to the side and using only my hands until I can put it back here on the end. Give it a try. Make a buck stop, put it on your push stick, and give it a try. Now, let me say one last thing about this before I go, because I really like this buck stop, so I really thought I didn't do it 100% justice on the last one, but anybody can put a buck stop on their push pad or push stick anytime they want. I'm going to take my gripper and I'm going to put a buck stop here and here, and in effect this thing will do the same thing as that does, plus give me that downward pressure when I want to use a wider base, a bigger pad to hold my piece down, and I still got the heel so that when I reach the end it tips back just slightly, and now I have the built-in heel, and it'll always still be lined up to my grooves, so as I'm going over the top, even at this angle, it'll clear and not tear anything up. It won't hit this. So I think I can actually use the buck stop on these and it'll be a big improvement. So stay tuned. I've got some blanks. I'll make something like this with the buck stop and show it to you, and we'll see what that looks like. I think that'll actually be a very good push pad. So keep it in mind, but you can also use that, like I said, on your regular push sticks too. But that's what it was. I wanted to talk about the buck stop. I finally decided that's a good name for it. So if you have any questions or any comments about it or any ideas, leave them in the comments. Just like Buck, you know, I do read and try to understand everything everybody tells me, but some things strikes a chord with me and some don't. Don't give up trying, because together we'll come up with some pretty good ideas. So I like this. I like this a lot, and I think it's worthwhile for all of us to take a closer look at and try to see how we can use that in our shop. I think you'll find the use for that buck stop on a lot of your push pads that you now have. So anyway, if you like this video or you learned something here, hit that like button. Most importantly though, please come back again, because I'm nowhere near done. Who knows what we're going to do next. So thanks, and we'll see you again very soon.